Hey, hey, hey! You know what day it is. What day is it? It's Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. It's Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Hey, boo, hey, it's your girl, Detra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, and your personal life coach here with another weekly dose and serving of Tuesday Tea with D. And today's conversation is going to be a juicy conversation. I just want to make sure we are all good with our settings and everything. I just felt like, this conversation is going to be good. So I don't want anything to interrupt. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, before we get into the conversation, I have some tea, and this is actually a little concoction. It's got honey, lemon, elderberry syrup, and no, it's an elderberry elixir, and I believe there is like the second or the third serving of a peppermint and ginger tea in here. And so lately I was feeling my throat was trying to get a little scratchy. And I was like, no, 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 not over here. So I've been kind of, mixing up my little concoctions to make sure that I am well, to make sure that there is no scratchiness in this throat, to make sure I'm just taking care of myself. So it's actually pretty good. I have been drinking it during the day and at nighttime before going to bed. And then also taking like a nighttime medicine just to make sure if there were any cooties, child was getting rid of them, right? And fun fact, as you can see, this mug, you see that? If you don't know, and some people do and some people don't, but I am a Rottweiler lover. I am a Rottie lover, right? Like literally. I was a Rottie mom for 14 years. My most recent baby, she passed away in June of 2020. And so I have been fur baby free, kid free, minus the one I got, for 3 years. But I miss her a lot. Like there are moments where I'm like around here and I'm like, man, I know like she would be doing that, getting into this. But I say all of that to say that this mug is, I haven't like drink. I don't even know the right word. I haven't had anything to drink out of this mug. I'll say that because I don't know if it's drinking or drunk or whatever out of this mug in a very long time. But this actually was a gift from my mom. See that? And most people who know, it's funny because this actually looks like my most recent baby, Missy. But I had a boy prior to that. His name was Bishop. And then my first Roddy baby, her name was Sheba, and she passed away. I was literally heartbroken with all of them. But this one, my mom bought me this mug, and I don't know, I just decided to drink out of it today. And so feeling a little sentimental all about my Roddy babies. And so at some point when I get me my ultimate, and it doesn't have to be an ultimate house, but my somewhat dream house and huge backyard, I want a boy and a girl. And I may even think about mating and breeding them just because I love them so much. So that's a fun fact about me that maybe you did or didn't know. And I just thought about that when I was drinking out of my mug this morning. And I was like, man, like I remember when my mom gave me this mug, and it talks a little bit about Rottweilers on the back and all that juiciness. So today's episode or conversation, as I always share each week, is brought to you by the Get Stuck and Get Unstarted 90-minute strategy session. You can get more information about that at TrueheartSpeaks.as.me/get started. That's TrueheartSpeaks.as.me/get started. And so I will quickly say that, and this session is a $500 session. It's a 90-minute session, and I share this every week. You can get all the details there. But one of the things that I like to share is that if you're thinking about, possibly working with me, this is probably the best start for you because we get 90 solid minutes together to really unpack where you are and how I can support you and give you an action plan to take action. And sometimes, depending upon where you are, I get women who come to me who are overwhelmed with everything that they have going on. They've been kind of pouring into everyone else and really have forgotten to take some time out for themselves. And so they need strategy and support and accountability around that. I have women who sometimes are just learning how to sit still. It is a struggle to sit in silence, to put the phone down, to sometimes even cut the television off, and really just to position yourself to hear from God, to position yourself even just to process your own thoughts, right? Because there's so many and it's kind of like just all over the place. And so I have people who come to me for that. I have women who come to me because they are ready to, uncommit their overcommitting selves, right? And so you've been overcommitting and all the things, double booking, saying yes to all the things when technically you should be saying no. And so we work through that. We work through, helping you to look at your time and your schedule. There are all sorts of things that we can do at that 90-minute strategy session, dealing with, having conversations around imposter syndrome and how you self-sabotage and all that stuff. So at any rate, I wanted to make that known simply because I think it's important, because there's some work that you're going to need support on. Every, as we call it, GOAT, right? Greatest of all time has a coach. Like the best of the best, they all have a coach. And so if you don't have a coach, then you want to start considering what it looks like to have someone in your corner to help you show up at your highest and your best self. Okay. So, with that being said, let's get this conversation started around this question that I posed: where and who is your safe space? And the reason I shared this, if you know, weeks ago, and you can go back into the Tuesday Tea with D archives, you'll notice that I did a video called "Are You a Safe Space?" And I think that's important because sometimes, we don't know that we're not safe space for people. We don't know that sometimes the things that we say and the things that we do can literally be the very thing that causes people not want to confide in us, to not want to be around us, to not want to have conversation with us, just to not be like, we don't want to be in their space, period. Right. And so I asked that question around you double checking to make sure that you are a safe space for people, because sometimes people need a safe space. They need people who can hold space for them. But over these last couple of weeks, I've been seeing conversations, having conversations, coaching women who do not have a safe space. And so I wanted to bring this conversation and this question to you to ask you, who is your safe space, or where is your safe space? I want you to think about, obviously, because I know my person, right? And I know that you are, doing all the things for all of the people. My question is, are you allowing yourself to be treated right in the same way that you treat others, right? And so, are you allowing others to do what you do for so many different people? You hold space, you create safe space, you are a listening ear, you show up for others, you encourage, like you do a lot of that. And the question is who do you have and where do you go for safe space? I want you to think about that. I want you to journal around that when you get an opportunity after you have watched this video and shared it with like 5 to 7 people, because everybody needs this message today. You hear me? But I want you to think about that. I want you to get somewhere, get quiet, put your phone down, unless your phone is where you're taking notes. I know nowadays the phone and the iPad or the tablet, you can go into your notes, and all of the phones, right? You can go into your notes, and that's like where you take notes, or you can do an audio memo and talk it through and transcribe it. But I really want you to think about who is safe space for you. Who can you go to? Like who are your go-to people when like literally the floor is coming up from under you? I have about 2 or 3 people that I can automatically call, or who automatically call me, or who, like, one person, I just finished talking to her last week about some stuff that was going on, and she was just like, yo, I was thinking about you and you were heavy in my, as a matter of fact, 2 of them called me like on the same day and were like, you were heavy on my spirit, like on my mind. It was like 1 a.m. and I couldn't call you, but like I knew like I needed to touch base the next day, and she did, and we talked and we kind of like, unpacked some things. But who do you have? And it's interesting because when I'm working with private clients, a lot of times they don't have anyone. And so I want you to really think about this in addition to, allowing people, and I shouldn't say in addition to, but this is probably the question that I want to ask is, are you open to, or are you ready to allow people to do what you do for others? Right. Sometimes we get so caught up, and I had to learn this years ago in a different lesson around being a giver, but also being open to receive, right? We can give compliments, but can you receive compliments? You can give gifts and encouragement, but can you receive gifts? Can you receive encouragement? Can you receive compliments? And so sometimes the way we are wired is we have no problem giving. We have no problem pouring out. It's the pouring back into or the receiving that we have issue with, because it's like, well, I don't do it for that. And no, you don't do it for that. But at some point, if you're constantly pouring out, who's pouring into you? When are you allowing your cup? And remember, we talked about this last week, me asking the question, or posing this statement that you can pour from an empty cup, because we do it all the time. And so, when you are in a space where things are just not going the way, and maybe, you have a coach, right? And so that's, I think, one of the reasons my clients come to me is because, for one, they kind of need suggestions on who those people can be that they can go to outside of working with me. But a lot of times, as their coach, I'm the person that they come to with life's dilemmas. I'm the person, and that they can come to, who holds space, who creates safe space, and who allows them to be who they need to be, without title, without roles, without responsibility. And so I want to ask you that question is who is that for you, and where is it, right? Because I know for me, sometimes it's not talking on the phone. It's, sitting under my warm blanket, journaling, and sitting in silence with nothing on, no phone, no music, no television, no nothing. Sometimes it's taking a drive. Sometimes it's going to Target, honey. Target is the thing, right? Going to Target and just walking, right? I'm not going to buy anything. I'm not even tempted to buy anything, right? There's some cute stuff in there right now, but I digress. But the idea is, where can you go for safe space? Is it church? For me, church is definitely that space for worship and to just get into the presence of the Lord. Going to the water, places where there's water and where I can just sit. For me, sometimes even just being outside is a safe space for me. And so I really want you to take a moment to, when this video is over and you have some time to really sit with yourself, is to really ask yourself, where is my safe space, right? Where do I have space to just be, where I'm not expected to be everything that everybody wants me to be? Who is my safe space? Who are the people who hold space for me? I literally have, and I can think about them, who, whether it's, a conversation with my cousin via Marco Polo, whether it's my best friend, I have like a few people that no matter what the circumstance or the situation, I can call them, I can have conversation with them, and that's that, right? My pastors are two people who I know without a shadow of a doubt are safe spaces for me. And so I want you to think about who those people are if you have not thought about it. And if by some chance you don't have anyone, you're thinking like, man, like, I don't know. I want to ask you this question first is, have you even thought about allowing them to be safe space for you? Have you thought about allowing them to be safe space for you? Because sometimes it's not that nobody is available, it's that you out here being Superman and Superwoman to everybody else, that you have not allowed yourself the same things that you're doing and providing for others. And so while you're asking, do you, and you're answering, no, I don't have anyone, my next coaching question to you or journal prompt would be, if you allowed yourself to, who do you think would be available? Because sometimes people, when people ask, hey, how are you? How are things going? Because you either don't trust or you're so used to just holding things in, you haven't let anyone in and you have not expressed yourself and told people what's going on with you. And so there could be the potential to have a few people who hold space for you and you're not letting them in. But if you really don't have anyone, like there's some people that I could think about who are not safe space for me, who, when they ask me how I'm doing, child, I'm good, because I'm just not having that conversation with you. Can I be honest? Like, it's okay that we have some people like that where This conversation is not a conversation that I would have with you. And sometimes it's because of history, and other times it's just because, child, you ain't a safe space, period. And so think about that, right? And so if you just don't have any, my prayer, and I want you to pray about this and journal and really start to ask God to send you people who are safe spaces for you, to get in community with places that feel safe for you, to allow yourself to be in spaces where you can be transparent and vulnerable and honest and bare, right? Naked and not ashamed, as the Bible says. And so, one of the blessings that I love about the communities that I create is that they are safe spaces, whether it's my free Facebook group or my monthly paid membership or my event that's coming up in December, or even just private coaching. I have multiple spaces that I'm very intentional about in making sure that the women who wear multiple hats and operate with multiple roles and responsibilities, high functioning, high achieving, high performing, high capacity responsibilities, have safe space where all of the things that they do not matter. Like we don't care about that. We care about you. And so, with that being said, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I really want you to take the time to do the work. And if this is an area that you're feeling like, man, like I feel like I need some coaching around this, I'd love to coach you. I love to be able to sit with you and hold space for you and, watch you process and maybe even watch the tears come down because you're recognizing that there's some things that are not where you want them to be. Or even sometimes you're like, man, like I'm doing better than I thought, but like I feel like I can do better, right? I feel like there's more for me to do. Go and book a call, right? TrueheartSpeaks.as.me, and I'll put this up so you can get the link .me/get started. That's TrueheartSpeaks.as. I don't know why I can't say AS today. as.me/get started, so that you can book your 90-minute strategy session. Again, it's $500. For the investment, there's a 90-minute call. You get a copy of the replay of the recording. There's 3, 6, or 30, 60, 90-day action plan, depending upon what it is that you're working on. And there's also a 2-week follow-up call, 30-minute follow-up call, just to kind of see where you are, check on your progress and see what your next steps should be, if it means including us working together or whatever the case may be. But what I will say is that, I have clients that after working with me one time are already taking action. They're already feeling lighter. They're already getting clarity about what they need to be doing. They're already implementing the boundaries and the different things that we've been talking about. Like, people are taking action, and sometimes you just need permission to know that the things that you've been wanting to do, you can do. And so I love to be able to partner with you in that, right? And that's why I do these videos every week, because maybe you're not ready for coaching, but you're like, man, like these are helping me. And if they're helping you, I love for you to share them with other people. I love for you to comment below and let me know like how this resonates with you. I love for you to like and subscribe the YouTube channel if you haven't. And so, let me just tell you, I'm not sure if I shared it last week. I think I shared it last week as well, but we are officially over 500 subscribers. I think we're at like 519 now. I think I did share this. And so with that being said, listen, we're going up to the next level, right? We want to go to 550, and then we want to go to 600, and we go to 650 and 700. Like, we want to do all the things, right? And so that can only happen with you sharing. That can only happen with you subscribing. That can only happen with you liking and commenting, because then YouTube shares this right out in YouTube, the YouTube universe, and people get a chance to see the video, and if they like what they hear or they see, then they join the community, right? So at any rate, I pray that this was something that will cause you to really think about not only how you hold space for others, but allowing people to hold space for you in the work that we do and who we are called to, and just the impact that we are called to have on this world. We need safe space. And not only do you need to be safe space, you need a safe space. You need a place that you can go. You need a people that you call your own. And for me, I'm grateful that I have those people. And sometimes I'm grateful that they check on me before I even reach out to them, right? Some days I'm out here, child, saving the world. And they're like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that you checked in, because I've been moving. Right? That's a transparent moment, because that's what we do. And so understanding that that's what we do, we need people who can text us, send us messages, call us, send us Marco Polo videos, or even show up at our door and say, hey, what's going on? Like, I ain't seen you. I ain't heard from you. Are you okay? What's going on? You need people and you need places of safe space where you can just be, where you can take off all of the things, right? Put all of the things down and you can just be you. So with that being said, hopefully you have an amazing week. Hopefully I am looking forward to, and don't forget, I only book 5 of those 90-minute strategy sessions each and every month. And so if you want to get in with me this month so that you can get in and get started, I would challenge you to book your call as soon as possible, because once they're done, then you have to wait until next month, right? And so why are we waiting until next month? No, we're not waiting until next month. Actually, we are going to do this now, right? We're gonna get this party started now. The other thing that I will share, because I may not speak to you until next week, right? Or I may not see you until next week, is this coming Sunday. For those of you who celebrate it, I know it can be sensitive for many people, but for those of you who celebrate it, who have healthy relationships with your moms, or healthy relationships with the people who are like moms in your family, if you have children, even if they're not biological, but the children you raise, I just want to say happy Mother's Day. As a mom, and as someone who has raised children who were not my biological children, you still, feel like they're yours, right? And you feel like, man, like you get a chance to see them grow up, and you have, a certain part in their lives. And so I just wanted to recognize you this May of 2023, depending upon when you're watching this. And I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all of the moms out there, in whatever capacity you have been to children in this world. And just know that you are loved. Just know that you are appreciated, and that you are necessary. And if you are a mom, please make sure that you specifically have safe space people and safe space places, because, child, momming is hard some days. You hear me? And so, yes, we may make it look easy, but some days you need, of all people, if you are a mother, or if you have served in any capacity as a mother, as an aunt, a grandmother, a godmother, just a neighbor who just listen, who and where are your safe spaces? Identify those. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you next time on Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. See you later. I love you.